everyone, it's Darla at Scrap Happens here with Tuesday's tip. I had other plans for today. I was going to show you how to do some bag toppers with some of the dies, but I got sidetracked by slimline cards. They are very trendy right now. Everybody's making them and they are so cute. I made this card last night. It's inspired by a card created by Karen Barber. My upline shared it on our team page. And I just loved it, but I wanted to make it my own, so I changed it up quite a bit, and this is what I came up with. So the slimline cards are lots of fun to make. This is the only one I made, but I can't wait to make more. But today's video, I want to share how to make envelopes to go with these cute slimline cards. A friend of mine sent me some measurements that she had this morning, and I want to play with it. So that's what I've been doing all day, is playing out in my workshop. I ran into some snacks, so I wanted to share with you what worked, what didn't work, and how to fix it. So let's get started. I want to first show you that this card measures 8 by 9 inches, and I scored it at 4 inches. And I have a second card that I'm in the middle of creating that measures 7.5 inches by 9 inches, and it is scored at 3 3/4 inches. The reason I have two different sizes of cards is because the homemade envelope that I got measurements from my friend, did not work for this card. Here's an envelope that I made with those measurements, and this card won't go in it. It does, however, fit into legal size envelopes that I found on Amazon just perfectly. So you don't have to make a special card, but if it's for someone you really want to impress or that is really extra special, it's fun. It's a fun touch to make a homemade envelope with it to match it. But again, it does fit in the legal side envelopes. I did not get the security envelopes because I didn't want the gray or blue on the inside of the envelope. Okay, so let's get started. I want to first show you what I did to create the envelope for, actually I'm just going to give you the measurements for this 8 by 9 card that you can also again use with legal size envelopes. You are going to start with a 9 by 11 piece of designer paper. This designer paper is the World of Good designer paper from the World of Good designer paper pack. You are going to score it in the portrait position at 2.5 and 6.5 inches. And then you're going to turn it to the landscape position and you're going to score it at 1.5 inches and 10.5 inches. And then the rest will all be the same. So now I'm going to show you how to use just an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, just because you can make a lot more envelopes 8.5 with the 8.5 by 11 cardstock, which is what I want to do for a class. I want everybody to be able to make an envelope and a slimline card in class. So let's get started and I'll show you how I did it. And I'll show you my mess ups. I'm going to start with an 8.5 by 11. Oh my goodness, I'm going to choke. It's not the COVID, I promise. I just swallowed wrong. So it's in the portrait position. I'm going to score it at 2.5 and 6.5. Then I'm going to turn it to the landscape position and I'm going to score it at 1.5 and 10.5. I'm going to move my scoring tool out of the way. I'm going to use my bone folder to crease it really well on all 4 sides. I'm going to take my paper snips to cut out the 4 rectangles. And on this side also. Okay, so the first thing that I messed up on was I really wanted to round the corners. And I wanted to use my detailed trio punch to round the corners. Isn't that fun? I put labels on all my punches so I know the names of them, can find them easily. But I couldn't get it to go in right, folded, not in this position. I couldn't get it to go in. And I couldn't get it in at all on the lower end. So my workaround is that I just am going to close part of my envelope. And I'm using tear and tape. Oh, it's not cooperating. And I'm just going to seal that part. Then my pieces will just slip right in and I can round them. And I can even round the bottom end, which I think is just makes it extra cute. Okay, let me get all these scraps out of the way. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close it. Now, I wanted to show you, I have a sample here of a mess up. On this envelope, I shut the flap on the inside instead of on the outside. The problem with that is that I dropped this soon-to-be card. You cannot push your envelope all the way down because the cardstock's a little thicker and it just won't go down because of that flap's on the inside. Plus, it's a cuter look anyway with it on the outside. So I'm going to take some more tear and tape. Oh, I didn't have that where you could see it. I added tear and tape right here. I'm just going to fold it up and crease it with my bone folder. I'm also going to add some tear and tape on the top, but I'm not going to seal it because I want to be able to put my card in. But I did want to show you how I do it, and then just crease it. And there you have it. The card fits, the soon-to-be card, I should say, is going to fit perfectly. And I also decorated the outside of it just by stamping it with the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. Isn't it cute? Here's one also decorated. I did want to tell you that I am going to be making a tutorial for this card, so be on the lookout for that. I think I've got everything on here. I've told you all the measurements, but I am going to put them on my blog. So be sure to go to my blog, Scrap Happens Here with Darla.com. I'll have pictures of the card and with the envelope, and I'll also have all of the measurements for both envelopes, including the one that you make with designer paper. I really love them with designer paper. I think it's really cute, and they're thinner. I did the same thing. I stamped on it. It's just more costly to make all of your envelopes out of the designer paper. So I am going to save that for extra special people. And I couldn't do it in a class. So I would have to buy oodles of packs of designer paper to make that work. So I'm going to teach them both ways in class. And they'll have this video to refer to. So if you like what you saw today, please hit subscribe so you don't miss another video. If you need more inspiration, follow me on my blog, Scrap Happens Here with Darla.com, on Pinterest, on Facebook, and on Instagram. I'm around, so you can find me, and I love sharing what I do with everyone. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by today and allowing me to share what I love to do with you. I'll see you next week with Tuesday's tip. Have a great day. Bye.